Hello and welcome to the Pink Couch. Our guest today is Peter Tauck, who is, of course, the third generation Tauck to run the Tauck Tours Company. Welcome, Peter.
Thank you, Nina. Nice to be here.
Today, travel agents, we're going to talk about the E word. Yes, we are. We're going to address expensive, a word that I think is so taboo within the travel industry that it dare not be spoken. It's all about deals. Peter, you're going to talk to travel agents today, as I understand it, about why expensive is good and why we should be considering it.
Well, I think as I've looked at how things have evolved as a company, we've been in business since 1925, and our focus has always been to create the best destination experience for people. And as we hit tough economic times and we go through these dips and people are a little bit more conscious about their money, what we've seen take place in the travel industry is just such an intense focus on lowering prices. But in lowering prices, what happens is you oftentimes take away the best destination experience components of a trip. And so we know we're probably one of the most expensive operators out there, but we think that's really been to our advantage and why we've been successful, because while others are taking things out of their trips to get the price down in order to sell it, it really is sabotaging in many cases the destination experience. When we hit the economic downturn of 2008, we were looking at a really tough year in 2009, and our management and our board got together, and there was lots of dialogue back and forth about what do we do. We were up against 2-for-1 deals with the airlines and free air, and everyone was giving stuff away to try to fill seats and to fill beds. And so we looked at that, and that's what people were buying at the time. And there was a strategic discussion that took place, and we ended up doing some research out. We sent out a survey to our best customers, and they came back saying exactly the opposite. They said, don't you dare drop your prices, because we know in order to drop your prices, you've got to take some of the best things out of your trips, private Vatican visits and those kinds of things that we do when we're out there. And although we struggled in that economy, it was a great exercise we went through, because I think it refocused on us on what our real mission was, which was the destination experience. And yes, you're going to pay a little more for it.
Peter, what advice do you have for travel agents who's sitting with a customer who is so focused on wanting to make sure that they got the best deal possible, and that travel agent doesn't have Peter Tauck sitting beside her and all your enthusiasm and passion? How do they approach selling not based on price? I mean, in general, even beyond Tauck, of course.
I think you have to sit back with a client, and first you all of you know your clients, and you probably know what their means are. And it's not to say there aren't some great deals, that there will be clients that will want to chase, and yes, there'll always be those clients. But I think there's those clients that could afford a more inclusive trip, a more engaging destination experience, that if you as a travel agent can explain to them what's involved. This is why you should spend $1,000 more or $1,500 more. Oftentimes, they're going to spend that anyway when they get to the destination, because what operators have done is they've stripped so much out to compete on price that when the customer gets to the destination, all of a sudden, the extra night's hotel you need at the beginning and at the end, and onboard things and shore excursions or balloon rides or things that you'll want to do when you're there end up as a bill that you get on the last day of the trip anyway. And now the client's paid for it. You, the travel agent, have lost the commission on that, whereas we include that all up front. I think the other important question is just to look at your client in the eye and say, are you out to get the greatest destination experience when you go to Italy or South Africa or Tanzania? Or are you out to get the best deal? 20 years from now, when you sit back and talk about this trip that you're planning on taking now, are you going to be telling your family and friends, wow, I went to Italy and went for $8.99? Or do you want to sit 20 years from now and say, years ago when I was 55, I took the most incredible trip to Italy, and we were in the Vatican after hours, and we had dinners in palaces, and we had a European Italian experience. I mean, those are where the memories are created, and people will buy up to that. They'll pay up to that. And it's hard, I think, for an agent sometimes, because we all look the same. When you lay the brochures down, we all kind of make the same paper promises, but you really have to sort of dig in and see what the differences are with what's included.
A lot of it is training and experience, I suppose, expertise, understanding, as you said last night, that the hotel you use in Cairo that has a view of the pyramids, it's the same hotel that someone else might use, but they don't have the view of the pyramids.
But they don't have the view. They might pay $20 less for the room, but you've got to get up in the room and walk down and outside to see the pyramids in the morning, where we pay a little bit extra, your client's money, but we think we're spending it well, giving them rooms and contracting rooms that actually face the pyramids.
Bottom line is that I heard earlier today, cheap is expensive.
I'd agree with that.
Okay, thank you so much for your time.
All right, nice to be here.